Today we're cleaning the engine. I washed the engine today. Same process as everything else. Water, super clean, scrub it, super clean off. That's it. I taped up all the open holes so that they won't get filled with water, because that's never a good thing. Carb boots came in, new ones. Here's the old guys. You can see it there. You can see these rips that were starting to happen. Of course you can't, thanks camera. They're superficial, kind of, because if you look in the inside, it's nice and smooth in there. But, you know, it's better to just replace these things if you think there's even something remotely wrong with them. These are carb boots from a KZ1000 police bike. The inner and outer diameter are the same. The offset of the bolt holes are the same, because one side is 3 millimeters. One bolt hole is 3 millimeters higher than another one. The only difference is the length. So these guys are a little bit shorter. The bolt holes are a little bit shorter than on the stock KZ400 ones. So what I need to do is I need to get this on the drill press, elongate these holes a little bit. And that shouldn't be an issue as long as I get a new paper gasket in here and have that sealed up. That should not be a problem. I should have a nice connection there. So let's get some super clean on this. This is my third pass with the super clean, and it's looking a lot better, but you know, it's gonna take probably a few more passes to get it to a point where I think it's acceptable. I'm not looking for perfection here, I'm just looking for clean and much better than what it was. And it is. It's doing much better. I don't know if this engine was originally at some point painted black, but there's a lot of like what looks like old black paint in there. I don't know. This is definitely this has never been painted up here. But what I'm using is, this is an old, cheap welding brush, and I use that to get in the middle of the fins, and then also to break up some really, really rough stuff. I use this. And then everything else, there's a soft bristle brush. But you know, this is going to take a few passes to get right. And then as far as the side covers, I might take them off and polish them, but I think what I will probably do is just run some steel wool over it just to brighten it up a little bit. I'm not going to worry too much about the tarnishing here. Yeah, it's getting there. It's going to take a few more passes, but it's definitely a lot better than what it was earlier. Yeah, I'd say that looks a lot better. This little guy looking pretty good. So I think I'm going to give it another scrub with the soft bristle, and maybe one more time with the super clean just to be sure. And then hit it with some brake cleaner to take off all the super clean. And we should be good. What I am going to do is I am going to take this cover off and polish it, because it is chrome, so it's supposed to be polished, so I'm going to polish it. It's not that hard to get rid of, it's just 2 bolts. These guys, again, I'm going to just put some steel wool on it, clean it up a little bit, but I think that will be good enough to make this engine look pretty damn presentable. So, awesome. So while everything is drying outside, I'm going to get to this carb boot thing. So, if you can see it, you can like if it's at all possible to see this, you can see the overlap that needs to occur. Like, I need to widen this hole out a little bit, just ream it, just pull it a little bit to the left and to the right. Here's the old one, new one from the KZ1000. And the reason why I went with the KZ1000 is simply because of cost. Me doing this on the drill press, you know, it's about 5 minutes worth of work. It's totally cost effective to me because the KZ400 boots are somewhere in the neighborhood of $70. So I don't want that. I don't want to spend that much money. The KZ1000 police bike carbs are about 20 bucks. So you can see why I went that way. So I am going to just start this up. Let's see what we got. So tried a few methods on the drill press, but I ended up just getting a larger, just making the holes larger, not trying to, like, you know, elongate them a certain like way. I just made them bigger, and now it fits. So that's all it takes. Now, being that the holes are larger, I'm gonna put a washer on the screw that holds this onto the engine, just so that the you know, I can tighten it down a little bit better, apply the force a little bit more evenly. But other than that, that's it. KZ1000 boots on a KZ400. I just saved myself like 40 bucks. So now I'm going to polish up these old forks. You can see there's a lot of tarnishing, and you know, it doesn't look too good. So there's a way to fix this that's only slightly time consuming. First off, hit it with a wire wheel on the power drill. Hit it with 150, or wait, yeah. Hit it with 80 grit, 150, 220, 400, a little Scotch Brighting, and then polish with mothers, and it should be back to a factory finish. Now you can go crazy with this and like wet sand to like 1,000 or 2,000 if you want like a mirror finish on that. I don't want a mirror finish, I just want a factory finish. So that's about where I'm going to end up. Always wear your respirator when you're doing this, because aluminum dust is extremely toxic. So I just finished wire wheeling. You can see from the left there's one I didn't touch, and then this one. There's a lot of deep gashes in here from the wire wheel, but that is okay, because that's where the sandpaper comes in. We're gonna make all these deep scratches and high and low spots disappear with the sandpaper. So the longest part is the wire wheel. Everything else from here is pretty quick. So I'm just gonna show you before I do polish, because the rest of this goes pretty fast. I'm all done with sanding and polishing. As you can see, it's much nicer now. Yep, much nicer. So if you stopped here, it would just tarnish up again, because, you know, aluminum doesn't rust, it tarnishes. So what you need to do is you need to be able to protect this stuff. So what I do is I just spray on a light coat of enamel clear coat. It really doesn't matter the type of clear. I just use this because it's the cheapest and the most readily available. And just one coat of clear on the forks will make it so no tarnishing comes back, and it protects the finish that you just put on it. So yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then I'll do the other fork some other time.